Well, hello there, Terry here, and I wanted to send a few greetings to people out there that need it. Matter of fact, I wanted to weigh in on something that's really pressing on the media right now and those of us here in the United States, and that is the temporary partial government shutdown. They haven't shut the whole thing down, but a partial shutdown, and many feel, well, maybe that'd be something that we would keep going for a while, but I feel for those people that are directly affected. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to speak directly to those people that are out there, and also to you and me, because this has some real important lessons that we can turn into our advantage when we look at it. And we say, hey, there's some real opportunities here. First of all, it's very bad that they've lost their jobs, at least temporarily. And particularly, you're working and then not getting paid. Hello, that's not a good thing at all. And so we want to see that resolved. And I'm just going to not weigh in on what the specifics can be done there, but I do want to give you an idea that I have realized that this is part of life. Life is such that you can't depend on any job. Any job. You think, oh, hey, I'm just going to sit back and relax. Even a government job. Hello. You think, oh, a lot of people say, well, I'll get a government job and it'll be okay and I'll do just fine. Hey, Tricia, good to see you. Good to have you here on board. And Jay Lenore, nice to have you here too. And people think, hey, I'm just going to sit back and relax. I have found in my life that when I sit back and think, hey, I'm doing fine, I'm going to lace my fingers behind my head, just sit back here, prep my feet up on the desk, that's the first sign something's going down. Life is such that you do best when you're always stretching, you're always growing, you're always getting better, always improving. That's what you want to do. And when you got a job that you think, hey, I can relax here, I don't have to work hard on it, you don't do as well. What you want to do is you want to keep stretching your brain, keep getting better. And so one of the things I would suggest strongly is have an emergency plan, a backup. We do that for weather. I mean, we're living here in Florida. Yeah, we have our hurricane kits. We have our preparations just in case. We've had a few hurricanes come through here. Years ago, they were worse and they're a lot better now, not as bad, but you never know. Hey, if you live way up north, I grew up in the Midwest. Snow is a big part of what to do. You get ready for that. Winter comes, you prepare for it in the summer and in the fall. You get ready, you get extra supplies, get some extra water, get some extra food supplies. So whatever you're doing, think about those essential needs that you have. Get a few extras and live in abundance that way. I think it's important. And by the way, yeah, that applies to money. It applies to cash. Try to have an extra supply fund in there. Have something in there that you're going to say, hey, just in case things get really bad and they go sideways, which happens in life, happens throughout history, don't freak out, be prepared and be ready to go. That means have some extra cash around. And by the way, I mean real cash, because sometimes ATM machines don't work. Sometimes people won't accept credit cards. Sometimes they only want cash. So have a little bit, not too much, because then it runs into another problem. But work with your financial advisor on that and have a good 6 months to a year of living expenses poked away, probably in the bank or somewhere else that you can get to it that's liquid, and you'll be able to use that. But even more so, think about going back to where we're seeing the world today. People that are being laid off, kind of, sort of. It's like they're working, but they're not getting paid. Or those who aren't working at all and they're still not getting paid, that are in the government shutdown right now, the partial shutdown that's going on. What you want to do is you want to make sure that in today's world, you are equipped to do a lot more. Don't let any one job be your only source of income. We find that today there's a wonderful opportunity for creating side gigs, side hustles, whatever we're going to call them, having something else that you can do. There's Uber, and Lyft, and many other wonderful services that provide opportunities for drivers. You know, that's an option for some. You can stay at home and use these wonderful tools like I'm using right now, video, and be able to use Zoom or Facebook, Skype, other tools, and coach people. Think about something that you can do very well and you can help someone else. They will pay money for this. And you can just take the money then through PayPal or even better, cryptocurrencies. Get some cryptocurrency because then there's no chargebacks, which is really nice. You could use that, get paid, immediately send it over to your bank, send it through a Coinbase or something like that. And so it's like you got that money and it goes right into your bank account and it works out real, real well. I want you to think about what you could do. Even if you're working right now and you say, oh, I haven't been laid off, that's okay. Something could happen. And I'm saying be prepared. Use the disadvantage and leverage that. Jump into something that'll make it even better for you. So you think, I'm going to prepare for this. It's like the old Arab saying, dig your well before you're thirsty. Get out there and start thinking about what you're going to do and be prepared for this. Get the extra skills. And what you want to do is you want to study and learn skills that are market valuable. A lot of times people will study something that the market really doesn't care about that. People aren't paying a lot of money for someone who's got skills in these particular areas, whatever that might be. What you want to do is you want to get skills that people say, oh, hey, you can do that for me? Yeah, I'll pay for that. And you want to get something where they can pay really good money for that. I'll give you an example. Last week, Gina and I went out to lunch with a couple of people. One of them was Jason King. Jason owns a company called Kingsland Academy, I think it is, up in Atlanta, and he lives here in Orlando, but he does that and he trains programmers. He trains people how to use code, how to do coding. Hey, that is a skill that is really in demand right now. They can't find enough people to do that. Think about this. Just think about what that is for more, even if that's you say, oh, that's not my thing. Think about for a moment. The average salary, for programmers who can program in some of the more popular languages right now is somewhere around $167,000 a year. $167,000. That's not bad. And that's average. Those who are exceptionally good are able to do even more. Well, how long does it take you to do this? It depends. There's no given amount of time, but there's a lot of courses available, a lot online. Jason's program does it really well, and they teach you those skills. You get people that can look over your shoulder and help you when you make a mistake. But 6 months to a year, you can get a good start and get out there and get some kind of really good jobs that start working in that way. That's just one field. What I'm encouraging you to do is I want you to go out on the web. I did a little search before I did this, to go out there and look at what is available. Look at kind of jobs. I did a Google search on, actually I used DuckDuckGo, which is a search engine also, but they don't keep track of everything you're doing. But DuckDuckGo or Google or Bing or whatever on side gig jobs or sideline jobs or extra jobs, something like that. There's a host of possibilities. If you speak another language, other than your native language, you know a different language as well. Hey, there's translation options. There's teaching and coaching options that are available. A lot of people making money doing that. For instance, I'm working on right now Spanish. We're trying to work on my Spanish, my Espanol, and I'm getting a little bit better. I'm poquito habla Espanol. I speak a little Spanish, but there's people that can teach you that. They have a native tongue with that. You can sit down, and if you can't get outside, maybe you live in an area where there's not many people that speak the language that you want to learn. This is why we have Skype. This is why God invented Skype. This is why God invented Zoom. Okay, these things exist today. Take advantage of them. We can use them. What I'm saying is you can get out there and you can do a lot. Well, hey, great to see all of you here. Let's see, I got one of the, Tricia Hale Appy says, one of the difficulties many of the government employees is that they furloughed is that there are limitations on taking additional work, which makes the preparation you described more important. Yeah, that's right. Sometimes they cannot do that. And thanks for mentioning that. When you're in that situation, find out what you can do. You might not be able to go out and do extra job. I understand that. Sometimes there'd be conflict of interest, and I can understand why they put those laws in place. What you want to do is be creative and find ways, legally, of course. Make sure that you can legally do something else. Like, for instance, writing. You might work in one area, but you might say, well, I'm going to write about this other thing over here that is completely different. So that could work as well. And I would say find ways that you can do something and have more than one source of income coming in. If you have only one source of income, even something that seemed as secure as a government job, you could be in trouble. In today's world, you want to have more than just one source of income. And let this be a sign. Let this be kind of a wake-up call to all of us. Because even though you might be working, you might not have been laid off from a government job and the partial government shutdown that they have right now. But it could happen. Whatever your situation is, you want to find out a way that you can stretch yourself. Besides, we do better as human beings when we're stretching, when we've got that goal that is within sight, but out of reach. And you got to become better. You've got to get out there and go for it. You're going to take some extra courses. You're going to read some extra books. You're going to go to the University of YouTube, as many of us like to call it. There's a host of wealth developing information out on YouTube. Get into that and find something that is right for you. There's a bunch of things out there. I would recommend go over to Google Go over to DuckDuckGo or whatever your search engine of choice is and do some searches on that, like side gigs or side hustles or extra job or making extra money. Find something that works for you. And you might need to experiment a little bit. You might try something and find out, that's not quite for me, but you'd want to try something else. So always use a negative as a stepping stone to get you into something even better. Right now, yeah, it's tough. And I feel for the people that aren't working and are having to work without getting paid. And there's a lot of uncertainty. And hey, they've missed a paycheck now. And those things are out there that they want to do, but now they can't because the money's not there. Now they might get paid later. That usually is what has taken place in the past. But it might be a good idea right now to use this as a wake-up call. Find some extra time when you can get those extra skills, learn something. I mentioned programming. That is something you might want to look into. Hey, there's a lot of wonderful online courses you can take now. Today, it's better than ever. It's not like it's the 1930s and you don't have the internet, you don't have Zoom or Skype, or if you're going to do anything, you got to do it on your own. It costs money. Maybe a mail order course could work, but then that takes time and it's costing a lot of money. Today, you can get out there and you can learn some really good skills. I'm using Duolingo, which is a wonderful tool for learning Spanish. And I love that little program. It costs $0, which is really in the budget for me. $0 is in the budget, and it's nice to be able to get out there and to learn some skills. Now, I want to go even farther, and I've invested in some other programs for a cost and learning that as well. So I just want to keep learning. That's a skill I am working on, one of a few skills that I'm working to develop right now. But anyway, I would really like to hear from you. And let's see, Jay Lenore sends a note here. Hey, thank you. I really love you too. Appreciate that. And yeah, we all need to hear that. I think it would be really good. And you were thinking about this morning, and God has you tell me exactly what to do. Well, I'm glad to be of help. Glad to help out. But I would, as you're watching this, if you're watching this live or if you're watching this on a recording, which most people do, then what I would recommend is use this as a wake-up call. Just step back and be quiet. This is one of those quiet conversations with just the three of you. I have a conversation with the three of us, me, myself, and I. You know what I'm talking about? Me, myself, and I. Just the three of you get together. You, yourself, and yours, or something, I guess is the way we would say it. But think about it. You want to get some skills. Be prepared. You might be in a situation where you say, I've got a nice job right now. That's good, and it's coming in. Great. Good for you. What other supplemental income could you get? Something that might be tangential to what you're doing. It kind of complements, but also doesn't compete. Be careful, of course, of the non-compete clauses and things like that. It's not like you're a lawyer, so you're not going to start up another law firm over here while you're working with somebody here. No, don't do that kind of thing. You want to make sure that everything you're doing is legal, permissible, and moral too, so that you're doing something. But thinking about if you wanted to do a lawyer job, but then also you want to be an Uber driver. I don't know if there's a conflict there, but that might be an option. I realize I'm just pulling that out of the air. But something like that would be good. Writing and being able to get paid for your writing is a real good thing. I was talking with Joe Schrafer just the other day about what they're doing at Agora Publishing. They're a multi-hundred million dollar company that does a lot on copywriting, producing products. They do very well at that, and they teach people how to write, how to copyright, how to create copy that will go out in ads and people like it. That's a really good skill to have. Find places that do that. You could go out on YouTube and type in something like copywriting skills, or learning Python, that's a computer language, or C++ or JavaScript, learning that. There's all kinds of free courses, a good way to get started. Find that, get out there and go for it. And hey, I will look forward to hearing from you. Drop me a note here, even after the recording is now in effect and this is no longer live. Please leave a note, because I'll be looking at that and can respond back to you then a little bit better. But I just wanted to share that with you as I was listening to the news today, and we're very aware of what's going on. And again, I'm reiterating it over and over. We send our deepest concern and love and care to those people who are working right now, not getting paid. We hope things get turned around, but use this as a wake-up call. Use it for good. Chances are it will get back together. They're going to do that within time. I don't know how long it'll take. I don't have my crystal ball has the batteries dead on it, so it's not working real well. But it'll probably come back, and then they pay back pay that you didn't get then. Okay, that's good. Be careful when you get an influx of cash like that. It's a tendency for many people to go out and spend money on things that maybe they didn't really need to. So just exercise discipline. Maybe build up that emergency fund account so that next time if this happens, which could happen, you've got a little cushion in there in the bank or wherever else it's going to be. Check with your financial advisor on that. So I will look forward to hearing from you and hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for joining me today.